Hello friends and welcome to another episode of 3 Minute Game Pass. I'm Nathan and today I'm going to tell you if this Game Pass game is worth your time and bandwidth. Today's game is Dead Space 3. Isaac is back for the last time in a co-op crafting, more open horror finale to the trilogy. Do the dramatic changes to the formula work, or is Dead Space 3 a dud? Let's find out. Dead Space 3 is an Xbox and PC cross-release. It is released as a 360 game, which means Series S and Series X will upgrade it with HDR and resolution. Also, it's worth noting this is an EA Play game, so you have to have Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC to play it, and the game is about 12 to 13 hours long. So what is Dead Space 3? Well, it concludes Isaac's story with the Necromorphs and the Marker, as well as marks the end of the studio that made the franchise. In my script, I put a sad crying face at the end of that sentence. Unlike the previous games, this one focuses more on co-op and crafting. The entire game can be played in co-op, which is a fairly solid experience. Co-op also adds things like one of you seeing things while the other one doesn't, as well as some different story bits, which is neat. However, the game still plays fine single player, even if you lose the other side of the story entirely. The other big change is how the guns work. In the previous games, you could hold 4 guns that each had one alt firing mode, while in this one you can hold just 2 guns. However, they have a massive crafting and customization system to empower those guns. You want a line gun on bottom and a flamethrower on top? What about a shotgun on top and a shotgun on bottom? Why not lace your bullets with stasis so the entire game becomes a cakewalk? You now have tons of options when it comes to making your personal ultimate weapon. Because of this, ammo is now universal and resource scavenging is a thing. You get a little bot that goes out and gets resources to make these new components, or you can pay real money for resources and loot boxes. Yes, loot boxes, even back in the day. EA has always been terrible. However, you absolutely do not need to do this, and you should never ever do this, as the game gives you more than enough resources to beat the game and have the best gun you ever could possibly want. The final change is the missions. The game now has a slightly more open world aspect to it, with characters giving you side quests to accomplish in areas off the beaten path. This rewards you with more story bits and more resources. So all in all, it still plays very similar to the previous Dead Spaces in its shooting, but the structure around it has been fundamentally changed. So what I like about Dead Space 3? Well, the weapon customization is hella fun, and the gun combos you can make are silly and a blast. Yes, I actually did make a shotgun like I said in my commentary, and it was rad as hell. I also think the shooting is still very solid, even if the enemies are starting to feel a bit samey. Having the new tools does help a bit with that, and co-op is very fun, even if it completely kills the horror vibe. So if you have a like-minded friend, maybe play it together. When it comes to the bad, the de-emphasis on precision shooting really was the one big thing this game had. You don't have to aim for the limbs anymore because your new guns are so powerful, you just blow them away in the body parts. And it's like, that was the one thing you had that was really interesting, Dead Space. Why did you get rid of it? This game also has a lack of polish when compared to 1 and 2, with much less interesting environments and a lot more copy-pasted content throughout. And lastly, the story is a massive letdown. It really just sucks. Isaac is now in this lame love triangle, and the whole thing just doesn't work really well. And as a final kick in the face from EA to show how much they hate you, the real ending is gated behind DLC. So that's really cool. As you know, I rate games here on a must play, maybe consider, don't bother. Dead Space 3 is a maybe consider. It is the black sheep of the series for a reason, but honestly isn't as bad as most people make it out to be. It's still a very fun third-person shooter with really neat crafting system and some engaging combat, and it plays even better in co-op. However, it does have much worse production values and a poor story. But if you enjoyed the series and want to see it to its end, Dead Space 3 is still a fun and engaging ride. Just be prepared that it isn't at the same level as its predecessors. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you leave this video a like, I will be your best friend forever. But even if you don't, we can still be best friends. And get out there and enjoy Dead Space 3.